Okay, so here it is. I've already added the pieces on there. Those little pipes or screws, whatever they are, the bolts. Okay, see what had happened was I originally made I think was it part 4 or something, the next following video, and I videoed the whole thing of how I made each part and explained it and cut it out, and I built it, along as I was doing the video on each step. And I went to upload my video, and it was uploading to well, I'm saving my video to computer, and lost the video from the memory card, so now it doesn't work. So what I'm going to have to do is I went back to the store and bought some more parts so I can show you how I did it. These here, I'm going to do those again, but it's already glued on there, so I kind of took the fun out of that, But I'm gonna make these parts again so you can see how I went about doing it. Just kind of sucks. It's already put on there, But anyway, when you're looking out from the front, when lining these up, make sure that both left and the right side are even. Because if you're looking at it from the side, you got to measure it and set it there. And you got to measure the other side; it might be off. So actually, look at it from the front when you're doing that. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show how I made this. What this part is actually, what kind of part it is. Basically, if you've been to Walmart or Home Depot, whatever, or Radio Shack, they sell like this bag of this wire stuff. It's a black plastic stuff, and there's like a split in the back of it. And what you do is like for your stereo equipment or car audio, you wrap it around the wire, and it keeps them all bundled together, keep them nice and neat. So what I did is I got a bag of this, and it's really cheap. It's like $3 or $4 for the whole bag of this, and it's plenty. It looks pretty cool. It's got a neat, consistent shape to it. So this is what I used to make the side pieces on there like that. Instead of just gluing that on there, what I did is I have a piece of 1/4-inch balsa wood. You can use, I just happen to have this laying around because of my airplane stuff. But you can use whatever you want, If you have pencils, you just get a pack of pencils, they'll fit right inside there. Just something to keep it from bending. Because I don't want to glue it on there, then have this thing like flex, up and down. Even though it's glued, I want it to be stiff. But once you put this in there, it gets pretty stiff. The length of this stuff, I already cut it. The length of it is 7.5 inches. So you want to go ahead and cut out 4 of them, 7.5 inches, and then take your wood and cut them out 7.5 inches also. This is just not actually, this is like 6 or something, just showing you just for an example. But the actual length on those are 7.5. Or whatever length looks good to you. To me, I thought this was the right look for the scale of the helmet. Might be off, but to me, I thought it looked good. So anyway, what you want to do is cut these and put the piece inside of it. Okay, so here it is. I have my little plastic piece here. So all you do is just slide it inside there. Go to full length, and that's it. Completely slide it in. And if you look at it, it's pretty stiff. It doesn't bend or nothing, and it's consistent, shape to it the whole way. So go ahead and make 4 of these at 7.5 inches. Cut the plastic and the wood at the same. When you slide it in, when you slide the piece in there, the wood, do not glue it. Well, for one, you're probably going to burn yourself with a hot glue gun if you're putting it on the wood and trying to slide it in, trying to do it real fast, and then it'll end up getting on the outside and make it look nasty. So go ahead and slide them in. And once you get them on there, then you want to glue it onto the helmet. Now I found when using a glue gun, you don't want to put the glue on the actual plastic and then set it down onto the foam, because what happens is this is plastic and it's cooler. Once you set the glue on there, it starts to cool off the glue fairly quick, and then when you go to set it on the foam, if it it cools off and hardens, it'll just sit there and just rock back and forth. It won't actually stick to it. So what I do is I find where it's going to go, mark it on the foam, make like just make like a line on each end so I know the distance between it, and then in the middle of it I just make a bead of glue, and then go ahead and just set it on top of it. Make sure you put the split side down where the back of it. Put the split side down, the back right there, face that down, and set that right under your line of glue, and then it'll stick to it. You won't have to worry about it coming off or whatever. Okay, if you see here, I got the piece on there. I really hate that I have it put together ahead of time without showing you how I did it, but it's pretty simple. The actual piece, I think you can see it sticking out the top a little bit there, stopped right about there. So I did is just drew a line here, and I think the distance between is maybe like 3/4 of an inch or something, if you want to measure it, you know, or just eyeball it or whatever. So I put it actually stopped back here. You don't want to put it back here because when you got to put the cap on, it's going to be back here and it won't look right. So I stopped it more or less right about here. And then I did that the same on all sides. The top one, you can see a little bit right here where the piece actually stopped. I didn't go to full length. I think that's about a couple inches maybe from the actual top of it right there. So just do that and then copy the other side. Make sure you look at it from when you're doing this. Look at it from the front, so you know that you have both of the pieces even. You know, when you're looking at it from the front, you don't want one kicked up more than the other. So anyway, like I was saying, you want to take this here, mark it on the ends, on each end, so you know how far to put the glue, the line of glue. Then you want to take the bead of glue and run it directly in the middle of this piece, like that. And then when you set your piece down, set it down with the split side with the wood side, you know, set that side down, and just hold it down and it'll glue to it. Alright, and just do that for all 4 of them. Okay, now these pieces here, see it kind of got a little thin on it. I think in my the other one I actually used 2 pieces of foam. This is actually 1/2-inch foam, which I have left over from airplanes. But you can use whatever you want. If you want to use double up or you know, layer up some of this stuff here until you get this thickness, like stack up a few layers and then use that or whatever, you could do that, or grab some of this here. It might be kind of, I think they sell this stuff in the actual 4-foot by 8-foot sheets. If you could find a smaller sheet of it, that'd be great, because you don't need a lot for this actual helmet. But it's kind of good to have, for you could do other stuff with it. Anyway, so what I did is, the length of this is 2 inches. The width of it is, I think, 1.5 inches or something. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, 2 inches by 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches is a little big because you shave it inside. Once you start sanding, you know, it gets smaller. So I make it 1.5 inches width-wise. So I more or less made some generic shape to it. And it's a square, so you don't have to sand it off. Or you can take your razor blade and kind of cut the corners off. And the way I do it is I use my little sanding block. This here, which I'd recommend highly getting. Some kind of sanding block or sander. Do it a little squares. I wouldn't do on here because it's too aggressive. It'll chomp off a big piece of it. You know, I like to do this part here by hand, and all you do is run out in the corners and just keep sanding it and get the general shape of it. And then once you get the angle from the top, then you need to get the view from the side here, which I need to take it from the top and then taper it down slowly to the front to get this look here. It takes a lot of sanding. This is actually time consuming to do each one of these because you have to do 8 of them. And so this takes a while. I think when I did it, it took me like an hour, which I probably could have done it faster, but I was watching TV and I wasn't too motivated. So anyway, that's how you do these. I'm going to go ahead and start sanding a little bit to show you general shape how it looks like once you start doing it. So like I said, you can do it this way or find something that you want to cover this piece up with. You can use whatever, but I chose to use this because I like the foam and it sands, and I like the way it looks when I paint it. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start sanding this so you can take a look and see how it looks. Alright, if you see here, I'm starting to sand it. What I do is I do it, to me it's not important, but I do it one way here and leave this part flat, and I repeat the same thing on the other side. So I just run it over here. You can see it cuts right in. This here is I think it's 60 grit sandpaper. It's pretty aggressive. 60 or 80. It cuts in it pretty hard and it makes it go pretty quick. You can use something lighter, but it'll take longer to sand. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this right here. Okay, see, now you can tell I got like a general shape here, more or less. Alright, let me sand the back so it's a little crooked. Okay, so that's that, a general shape. It don't have to be perfect, just whatever your preference is on it. Okay, now I have that. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut the slant. Cut this part here. And it'll give it that little angular shape. So what I do is hold it like this, and just stand on it. You know what, a little while ago, I was standing on this thing here. I was making a piece, and I it flung. If you're not careful, this belt spins really fast, and things will fly off of it. But I was using the disc here, and I did it wrong. I was watching TV. When I did it, my piece of foam flew off and hit my cat in the face. But she still don't care. She's still watching me do this. So anyway, I wish I had that on video. So anyway, let's sand this. Alright, so now you can see it's starting to get a little taper to it. Alright, it's getting there. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, if you look at it from the front, see it's a little off. So I do is just sand it a little more. Get it straight. Okay, now I'm going to start doing the curve part, making it round. Sanding the corners, this will apply to the whole costume. Sanding the corners goes really fast, so you need to do it like a little bit at a time. Barely push on it, because the corners are sharp and it just cuts right through it really fast. So it's different than sanding something that's flat. Okay, so see I kind of got a curve here. Also, when sanding this foam, you'll notice the thick stuff and the thin stuff, it almost has like a grain to it. It'll sand better one way than it does in the other direction. So when you find that direction, try to repeat the same direction. If not, when you sand it in the wrong direction, it'll pull up chunks. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it'll pull up a bit too big of a piece on it, kind of rips it or shreds it, and then you got to try to sand that off, and you end up going through a piece of foam. So find which way the direction of the foam goes. Not all of them, but some of them you'll notice does that. So anyway, see, I like using the foam because you can sand it. I mean, if you make another part, actually build it, you really can't sand it, and it looks kind of generic. So that's why I'm always building like this costume type stuff with foam. Okay, and I'm gonna do the front. See, now you can look at it from the front, starting to get a shape to it. Alright, I'm going to sand the front. Okay, now I still have the corners. I'm going to round off the corners now. Okay. I got that, and that noise you heard was my cell phone. Every time I go to make a video, someone text messages me. I think they sensed it or something. So I'm going to have to go edit that out. Or I might leave it. I don't know. Alright, kind of cutting more of it in there now. Okay, getting there. See, this is what I mean. It takes a while, especially if you're watching TV like me. This shit takes forever. And depending on how picky you are with it, now, if you want them all to look exactly the same size, because each time I got done with it, I would lay the part next to the other one and make sure, put it under it, make sure it's the same width, whatever. You don't have to. I mean, no one's going to notice this stuff anyway, just except probably you, the person that built it, So, just do it however you want. Okay, see, almost. Still not there. Anyway, okay, so before I get carried away, that's how you go about doing this piece here. Now,